Everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, I'm going to be continuing my look at the upcoming DC Icons 6-inch scale Justice League Rebirth 7-pack from DC Collectibles. Now yesterday I took a look at the Superman figure. Today I'm going to look at the Green Lantern figure, and then over the course of the next few days we'll look at the other figures as well. Now this set is slated for a March 22nd release, so just a little over a week away. A big thanks to the folks at DC Collectibles for sending the set out to me early so I could review it for you guys. Now I'm not going to focus a whole lot on the packaging since I looked at that in the Superman review yesterday, but it does come in this large window box. You can see the figures clearly displayed, and then on the back of the packaging you've got to look at other figures, some that have been released like the Darkseid and the Burnside Batgirl, and then others which have not, like Static, Swamp Thing, Deathstroke, and Wonder Woman. And then down below it tells us that the figures Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Aquaman were all sculpted by Steve Kiewis. The Green Lantern figure was sculpted by Joe Mena, and then the Cyborg figure was sculpted by Paul Harding. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at the figures inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now at first glance you might be thinking this looks like it's just a reissue of the previous Hal Jordan figure that we got in the Icons line, and in fact it is very similar looking, almost identical as far as the actual look of the figure, as far as the sculpting detail, the costume and everything. However, like with Superman, you can see here this is the previous Green Lantern figure that we got in this line, and you can see that the new one is taller. So like with Superman, it looks like they're upscaling these figures a bit since there's been a lot of complaints from fans about the Icons being too small. So definitely I'm glad to see that this is a taller looking figure and not just a reissue of the previous Green Lantern figure that we got. And if you already have this Green Lantern figure, even though this new figure does not come with any accessories, if you have this previous Green Lantern figure, the accessories that came with this one, or the Green Lantern accessories that came with the Jon Stewart figure, or the Green Lantern accessories that came in the accessory pack, all will work with this figure. So you have access to plenty of Green Lantern type accessories for this figure if you've been collecting the other Green Lantern stuff in the Icons line. And I'll show you those accessories with this figure in a moment. But before we do that, let's take a closer look at the actual figure. So like I said, this is very similar looking to the previous version as far as sculpting detail and the costume and everything, almost identical. The metallic green on this figure is a little bit brighter green, so it does look more metallic. So I do like that. You've got the Green Lantern symbol here on his chest, and the circle part is sculpted. And you've got some sculpting here on the armor pieces. And then the rest of the costume's just black with the white gloves. He's got the black legs. And then again with the metallic green for the boots and everything. So as far as the actual look of the figure, and even the head sculpt, even though again it's sized up, looks almost identical to the head sculpt that we got with the previous figure. So not a whole lot of difference as far as the look of the figure, but definitely it's nice that it's a bit bigger. Now, some of you had asked on my Superman review yesterday if you can switch out the hands with these newer, taller Icon figures with those of their smaller counterparts. And the answer is yes, you can switch out the actual hands. So like this figure, this Hal Jordan figure only comes with a pair of closed-fisted hands. You don't get any other extra hands. But like say if you wanted to take this open hand that came with the original Hal Jordan figure, you can switch it out. And you just pop off the hand and these hands will fit in there. So if you wanted them to hold the power battery that the original Hal Jordan came with, you know, you can do that. Also, if you want to take the hands with the Jon Stewart figure that has been released. Now the hands on the Jon Stewart figure are a little bit bigger, so if you're going to switch out the hands between Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, you want to do both hands because it'll look kind of funny if you have a small hand on one side and a big hand on the other. But you can switch out the larger hands from Jon Stewart as well. And then the Jon Stewart one has the little hole in it, so you can stick some of the accessories like this Star Blast on it, so added effect there. Now I do want to note that some of the accessories that came with the original Hal Jordan figure aren't going to work right away with this new figure. So with these, you would have to remove the entire glove piece. And the peg on here on this new figure is a bit bigger, so like you would have to drill out the hole on if you wanted to use one of these cannon effects. You actually have two different of the cannon effects. So you'd have to drill out the holes a little bit more if you wanted to use these with your new figure. You should be able to do it pretty easily, but again, you will take a little extra work if you want to make these hand cannons compatible, because the peg on the lower arm piece is bigger than on the previous Hal Jordan figure. And here you can see I've got the Hal Jordan figure, the new one, decked out in all the armor pieces that came with the previous Hal Jordan figure. So this figure stands just a little bit over 6 inches tall, not quite 6¼ inches. And once again, here's a size comparison of the new Hal Jordan with the original Hal Jordan released in this line, and you can see that the new one is taller. And here's a comparison with the Jon Stewart Green Lantern figure with the new Hal Jordan, and you can see now Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan are about the same height, and then the chip figure, which was released in the accessory pack. Here's a comparison of the Rebirth Superman figure that I looked at yesterday, and you can see Superman is a hair taller than Green Lantern, which I believe is in scale with what we see in the comic books. Here's a comparison with the Mattel 6-inch TV series Flash and Dawn of Justice Superman figure. Here's a comparison with a couple older 6-inch Green Lantern figures from Mattel. A comparison with a couple of Marvel Legend figures from Hasbro. And finally, a comparison with the SH Figuarts Suicide Squad Harley Quinn figure and the Mafex Dawn of Justice Batman figure. Articulation, you can turn the head to the left and to the right. The head's attached with the ball joint. You don't get a whole lot of back and forth movement with the head on this one. It would have been nice maybe if they'd given us a hinge joint so you could look back more for flight poses, but as it is, you can't really look back too much. You can pivot the head to the left and the right a little bit. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder so you can get the arm out good. He's got good rotation. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a double hinged elbow, so good bending there at the elbow. You've got rotation there at the glove cuff. You've also got rotation at the wrist. You've got hinges on the hands, so you've got up and down movement with the hands. Then he has a midsection joint, so you've got rotation there at the midsection. He can crunch a little bit, but not too much, and you can look back a little bit, but again, not too much. You can pivot to the left and the right there at the midsection a bit, and then he has an actual ab crunch type joint, so he can look down about that much, and then he can look back about that much. No waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints. Now you can pull the legs down from the socket so you get more movement there. Also, you don't get that gap between the leg and the crotch piece, which is nice. You can get the leg forward good. You can do the leg out and back. You've got the ball joint, so you do have rotation up high there. It's not a true thigh swivel, but you do get some rotation with that ball joint. Not as much on this one as you did with the Superman, but you do get a little bit of rotation. You've got a double hinged knee, so good bending at the knee. And then you've got a boot cuff swivel, hinges on the feet, so good up and down movement. And then you do get ankle pivot with this one and two peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I would say out of all the figures in this set, this is the one that's most like its previous counterpart as far as appearance goes. It's almost identical as far as the look, but it is not just a simple repaint, which is really nice. It is a sized up version. So scale wise, it'll fit in much nicer with your more modern icon figures, and will even fit in better with other 6-inch lines like Marvel Legends. It's not a perfect fit with Marvel Legends, but it is much closer than the older icon figures were. Also, it's nice that you can take accessories from the previous Hal Jordan figure or the Jon Stewart figure or the accessory pack and use it with this figure. So even though we didn't get any actual accessories with this one, you can still use all the ones that have been released previously in the line, which is definitely nice. Now, the set with this figure will be released on March 22nd. It is up for pre-order now at Big Bad Toy Store. We'll have a full image gallery up at toynewseye.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. Also, if you're enjoying the backdrops that you're seeing in this video, please check out the site extreme-sets.com. They're the ones that make those, and if you're into things like toy photography and the such, they've got a lot of different backdrops that you can choose from. So again, please check them out. Their link is in the video description as well. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. If you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll also have links to those in the video description. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later.